With Raptors president Masai Ujiri having still not signed a contract extension, is it time for Raptors fans to start worrying? Let's get into it. Welcome to Amateur Hour Sports, where we are so close to 500 subscribers on the channel. So if you like what you see at any point, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date with the NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors 4 days a week on the channel. Join the movement as we go to 500 and beyond. On to today's topic of the video. You've seen the thumbnail, the title, why we should not be worried about Masai Ujiri's contract situation. Masai's contract is up at the end of next season, so he will be available to go wherever he pleases. If he does not sign a contract extension, there is big interest from the Washington Wizards, from the New York Knicks. I'm sure every team in the NBA would love to have this guy on their team. It seems like almost unanimously, Masai Ujiri is regarded as the best president in the entire NBA, and Raptors fans, we are so fortunate that he is on the Toronto Raptors payroll for next season. But will it be beyond that season? I think absolutely yes, he will be on. The Raptors have this insane project going. There is a great project going that has been built by Masai Ujiri over the years. The Raptors have so much cap space to work with at the end of next season. Masai Ujiri has cultivated this team into having that cap space to go after a max free agent. Whether that one is going to be Giannis at the end of next season remains to be seen, but there is still a lot of cap space, and Toronto, having grown their market over the last couple of years, having won an NBA championship, they will be able to have the presence and power in the market to acquire one of those max free agents. Whether that is Giannis, we do not know, but I think that is the target for Masai Ujiri and the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors only have 3 players on contract beyond next season, so people who will actually already right now be paid at the end of next season. That is Pascal Siakam, whose max contract is about to kick in. That is Duan Hernandez on $1.7 million this upcoming season and the one following that, and the same goes for Matt Thomas. So much money to work with. Norman Powell also has a player option worth $11 million if he wants to take that at the end of this season. So if he wants to take that, he can. But still, a lot of money to work with. And sure, we're going to sign some players like, if we re-sign Fred VanVleet, if we re-sign Serge Ibaka, maybe their contracts will go beyond. But as of right now, all of that cap space to play with to go after a max free agent. And OG Anunoby's contract expires at the end of the upcoming season, and he definitely needs a big raise, and he needs an extended contract because I love OG Anunoby. I think he's on his way to being an absolute star in the NBA. But on to the contract situation. I don't know what would compel Masai Ujiri to actually leave Toronto. This is a project he has worked on, and he has molded it into the shape that it's in now. And sure, we have won that NBA championship, but still, can we turn this Toronto franchise into a marketing superpower? I think that with the help of Masai Ujiri and the right pieces involved, absolutely we can. When we have the reigning coach of the year, Nick Nurse, who we just re-signed, and a great GM in Bobby Webster, going with Masai Ujiri and MLSE, absolutely, the Raptors, the sky is the limit in terms of the market power that they can possess. But when it comes to Masai Ujiri, there's no rush to re-sign him. Obviously, we want to get it done early so we can ease our tension, but what's the rush, really? There's another year left on his contract. What Masai wanted to do is focus on the other guys, Nick Nurse and Bobby Webster. Nick Nurse, we solved that one. Nick Nurse signed his extension. He is the highest paid coach in the NBA. I mean, rightfully so. He just won Coach of the Year. So Nick Nurse just got his extension. It happened right at the end of playoffs. I've said on this channel already, I feel like that extension for Nick Nurse was already in the works or even completed before the playoffs started. I think they wanted to lock him up, but they withheld that information so we could focus on the playoffs. And when the Raptors were knocked out and the organization needed some good news to give fans who were, feeling a bit sour after losing in 7 to the Boston Celtics, they went, okay, we got this good news in Nick Nurse that we can just give them and keep them satisfied for another month. Well, clock's ticking. Raptors fans obviously very happy about that Nick Nurse situation. We need something else to be very happy about. So now Masai Ujiri wants to focus on Bobby Webster, the Toronto Raptors general manager, who has done an exceptional job of also putting this team together since becoming general manager in 2017. He's been with the Raptors for quite some time. He was Masai Ujiri's first hire when he became president. He has worked himself up into this bigger role as general manager. And before Masai Ujiri takes care of his own contract, he wants to make sure Bobby Webster's contract is taken care of. So Bobby Webster needs to be taken care of, and that is almost guaranteed going to happen. It's in the works. Masai wants to get it done. MLSE wants to get it done. Bobby Webster wants to get it done. Everybody involved wants to get that done, and they are going to make that happen. So once that is done, then MLSE, whoever, will start to focus on Masai Ujiri's contract situation. Masai said, no rush. He wants to take some time to reflect on everything. He said that right after the Raptors were eliminated from the NBA playoffs, he wants to reflect. I don't know what would compel him again to leave the Toronto Raptors. He just wants to sort out everything else. And part owner of MLSE, Larry Tannenbaum, who has done a great job being part owner of MLSE and building up the franchises like Toronto FC to that MLS championship, like the Toronto Raptors to their NBA championship. He's been a key figure throughout. He said that Masai Ujiri wants to get everything else done. We're confident a deal can get done. There's no rush. We have another year to solve this problem. Obviously, you want to solve it earlier, but take your time. Make sure it's the right deal for Masai. If you have to make him the most expensive guy in his position, absolutely do so. Because again, he's almost unanimously regarded as the best at what he does in the NBA. Everybody would love to have this guy within their organization. So Larry Tannenbaum, MLSE, whoever knows this. They know they have to keep Masai. You don't need to know anything about basketball in order to understand what Masai Ujiri offers to a basketball organization, whether it's strictly from a basketball standpoint or the tremendous work that Masai Ujiri does in the community for African basketball. This is one guy that Toronto sports cannot afford to lose. Toronto seldom sees really any championships when it comes to the big leagues. You're talking about the MLB, I'm talking about the NBA and the NHL. Unfortunately for the MLS, it's just a tick down. But I'm a full TFC fan and I loved watching them win that championship. When it comes to those big money-making championships like the NBA championship, like the World Series that the Jays won back-to-back in 92-93. The Leafs, it's been a long time. Even for a storied franchise and a huge market like the Toronto Maple Leafs, it has been so long, since 1967, that the Maple Leafs won a Stanley Cup. It is so difficult for a franchise to win a championship in any sport. And once you win one, you understand how difficult that is. It is so complicated in order to do that. And the Raptors got it done. And it may be a while before we see another one, but we're not ready to give up. We're ready to go again because we have the player pool ready to go and win a championship. Maybe not next year, but after next year. Absolutely a full contender. I think we still have a contender next year, but definitely, if not next year, the year after that, because of all the cap space available, the right people in the position when Masai signs that extension to get the players we need to be competitive. I have full faith in Masai to put a very competitive team together. He knows basketball better than I do, better than a lot of people do. He will put the team in place to be successful. Everybody has their opinion on who the Raptors should sign, how they should allocate their money, myself included. Obviously, I've talked a lot about it on the channel, but at the end of the day, Masai knows best. He knows more than me. He knows more than you. He knows more than anybody else. He is going to do the work to put together this competitive team, to progress this project he has created with the Toronto Raptors so that they can be competitive again, so they can try and go and win another championship for the franchise, for the city of Toronto, because it has been so many years of her being a Toronto fan. Like in the early 2010s, the Leafs sucked, the Jays sucked, TFC sucked, the Raptors sucked. We had nothing to cheer about. All of a sudden, we got Toronto FC winning a championship, the Toronto Raptors winning a championship, the Blue Jays overachieving this year to make the playoffs, and the Maple Leafs, they got some work to do to meet some expectations, I think. regardless, Toronto fans, if you think about where we were 10 years ago, we are in such a privileged position. We're not in as privileged a position as Boston fans, who can treat a conference final loss as a complete failure to the city. We're not quite at that good level yet, because we're pretty happy with the way the Raptors played this season, fighting for that. It's a little bit sour that they went out that early, but still, we're proud of the franchise. So, Toronto fans, Masai Ujiri completely understands all of this, all of the hurt. He has brought this team up from the dumps into the remarkable franchise it is today. A feared franchise in the NBA, a team that people do not want to play. You won't see teams like the Brooklyn Nets purposely losing games in order to play us in the playoffs like they did, 2013? Somewhere around there, back with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett on the Brooklyn Nets. That isn't going to happen anymore. Teams do not want to play us in the playoffs because of the work Masai Ujiri has done, but his work is not complete. This is just the steps in the right direction. There was an ultimate goal to this. Masai Ujiri will be heavily involved in that. MLSE will make sure of it. Everybody involved will make sure of it. There is absolutely nothing to worry about. I think it is a matter of time before Bobby Webster gets his contract signed. I think maybe the agreement's already in place, but Raptors, the organization, they may decide, like the Nick Nurse thing. I am fully confident they had that deal done for quite some time, but when the fans needed good news, they laid that on them, and they had that in their back pocket for a long time. And I think the same will go for this Bobby Webster deal. It might already be done, but they're waiting. Maybe if we don't get Serge Ibaka or Fred VanVleet back, then bad news happens. Well, how about some good news? Bobby Webster is back for the future. And then once that is done, once everybody else is taken care of, Masai, the selfless man, is going to get his money, get his contract done. We're going to continue this project and push on and be competitive for the foreseeable future. I think the Raptors will be competitive as long as Pascal Siakam is in a Raptors jersey. He is going to take a bigger jump next season and push on, be another all-star, and lead this franchise in the right direction. Hopefully come playoff time, he steps it up from what he saw this season, but I have confidence in his abilities to do so. What do you guys make of this Masai Ujiri contract situation? Do you think there's another team who can actually tempt him away from the Toronto Raptors? I don't think so. I think it's a matter of time before Masai Ujiri signs on the dotted line and we can all ease our tension. I don't think we should worry at all, just a matter of time. But let me know what you think about the situation in the comments down below. Do you think the Raptors can continue to be competitive for the foreseeable future? I absolutely think so. But thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you like, and subscribe to Amateur Sports for more content just like this. We post 4 videos a week. NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors. We are so close to 500 subscribers. I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and started rocking with the channel. And I appreciate everybody who has already done that and has been watching the videos. I really do notice the people who are always watching, always commenting. I really do appreciate it. At the end of the day, I believe what I say, and if you disagree, that is okay. We will see you again next time for another video.